So last night I wrote to my family, and I want to discuss with you that I believe that you need to be you need to understand what Immanuel Kant said one time, and I only remember it because it was such a foreign idea to me at the time. This is back in the 90s, that I pondered for a few weeks what the world must have been like that would make a man say something like this. There are many things that I believe that I shall never say, but I shall never say the things that I do not believe. What kind of world does it have to be, thought an American, Glenn Beck, in 1995? What kind of world do you have to live in where you are afraid to say things that you truly believe? Well, we are here now. There are many things that I believe that I shall never say, but I shall never say the things that I do not believe. That is important, and I believe that is something that you should ponder and take to heart. The other thing is something that General Anthony Wayne said in a letter to George Washington written at 2 o'clock in the morning. Your officers and your men behaved like men determined to be free. What does that mean? What does it mean to behave like a man determined to be free? I will tell you that it would change almost everything we do in Washington, and unfortunately for many of us, it would change a great portion of our day. It would change a lot of our thinking. I will tell you that if I ever could get to the point to where I am one with that, I bet it changes 10% of my day. And I think I'm pretty good. Behave like a man determined to be free. The world is coming undone, and the world is splitting into different camps. Those who understand individual liberty, that it is not about the collective, that the only way to truly bring the collective up is for individuals to empower themselves and to behave like men determined to be free. When you understand what that means, it means that you are someone who obeys the law, that you are somebody who does not pick the pocket of your neighbor, that does not push off responsibility to others, that you take responsibility for your action, and you insist that those around you also take honest accounting and responsibility for what they have done. And that's the way you get to be free. But the other group that the world is splitting off into is one that will take anything. They are a drowning swimmer, and they will pull you under the water. I'm reading the Hardy Boys with my son last night, and Frank and Joe fell off of their boat, there was a conversation they were having while they were on a boat, and one of them said something about a drowning man, and I said to Rafe, I said, why is that a bad idea? He said, because, Dad, they'll pull you under the water. And I said, good for you. Exactly right. Understand that is not just in the water. That is any drowning man, any drowning company, country, politician, they will grab onto anything. That's the two worlds. A drowning man, and at best, and at worst in that category, are people that will take everything you have because they just will. They're criminal. And they will enslave the whole world for their riches. And then you, hopefully. Last night I wrote something to my kids, and I will share only part of it with you. But I would suggest that you do not do what I am doing and have done for so long. And that is say things out loud. Begin to live your life in a way where you are determined to be free. You are behaving in a way that shows that you are determined to be free, but also understand Immanuel Kant's motto, or my motto. I will tell you things on this program, but I would ask that you would not alert your neighbors or your friends. I would just tell your immediate family. And maybe not even all of your immediate family. Because, A, you're going to be painted as a kook. You will be known, and everyone will say, I mean, look, anybody who knows Mormons, they always joke. Well, if the food things ever break down, I know whose house I'm going to. Well, not mine, because I'm a Mormon who believes in the Second Amendment as well. And a lot of people will think, oh, well, you know what? My brother was doing this, and I know he's got, so I'll just, nope. Shh. If you don't have 30 days cash on hand, if you don't have an emergency plan of how your family moves or functions in the case of a banking shutdown, in case of a seizure situation, in case of a national emergency, if you are not, A, positioned in a place where you are surrounded by like-minded people, you might want to reconsider this. If you are someone who does not have enough cash, you have to go to the ATM over the weekend, or you're not going to be able to eat. I would suggest you look at your food situation and you look at your cash situation. This is something that Pat and I have talked about because Pat lived through a hurricane in Houston, and it didn't even really hit.
Didn't even really hit us. It was Hurricane Rita the first time around, and it was just the threat of a Category 5 hurricane coming to Houston that, that's the one where, and it made national news because everybody was trying to get out of the city right before the hurricane hit, and like 3 million people got stranded on the freeways. And 24 people died on the freeways.
And if you think that you're going to get out of where you are, especially if you live near a major population
it's
center,
too late once the thing hits. It's too late.
It's too late. You will run out of gas.
Not only did the banks close, but the ATMs were all out of money. They were not a single ATM in the greater Houston area, I would guess, was operating.
There is another thing. There's another thing that I want you just to consider, please. And do not take any financial advice from me. Because I'm not that guy. I don't have any education on that. I have nothing. I have my gut. And I will tell you that I have been way too cautious for far too long, I'm sure. But I just see the stock market, especially now. I never did see it this way, but it is unpegged from reality. And I see the stock market as nothing but international gaming, international casino, where the house always wins. And they have, because the banking system with George Soros and everybody else, because they can, they know the game, they are deflating our money, the value of our money. So you're losing at your bank account. In Cyprus, they're losing an extra 10% on their bank account, or 6.7 on their bank account. Plus, if you have money in a 401k, if you have money at all in a stock market, I will tell you that Warren Buffett, George Soros, and many billionaires no longer have their money in U.S. stocks. And they've recently pulled them out. There is a correction that is coming that may be as stiff as 90%. Now, if you're lucky and you're average, that would mean that everything that you've worked for, 90% will be gone. Maybe if you're super lucky, maybe you have it in all of the right stocks and you get 50%. But you could have nothing left. And the people who are real big players, they have their money out. Now, what are they putting their money in? George Soros has made $1 billion since November by playing the currency market. This is something that I don't even understand. I don't know how the currency, how you make money on you have to, quite honestly, I don't know how you do it without having some sort of insider knowledge, or you just know all of the players, and so you know how they're going to move, and you know what countries are doing what. But he's playing currencies, and that's exactly how these big players, I'll bet you Bloomberg is one of them, how these big players are going to make their money. And what they're doing is they're printing the money, which lubes the stock market. They're the first in after a big crash. They invest. They convince everybody else to invest. They put their money in. The banks, the central bank keeps churning out more money, more dollars, making it easier. The corporations grab it. They can't reinvest because they don't know what things like healthcare are going to do to them next year. We are one of the only companies that are investing, and it is really dangerous to do it. But we believe we have to grow at this point. Most companies are taking any profits they have. That's why you're hearing they're so profitable. And they are putting it off to the side. They're not even investing it in the stock market anymore. But they were investing it in the stock market because at least you could make money on that. Building a new factory or creating new jobs isn't going to make you money. And so they were preparing for a bad time. Well, now those people are pulling their money out. And your money is still going in because you're being told by the news people on television, stock market could still keep going up. It's great for the stock market. It's great for the stock market. Please, please consider what you're doing. Please consider your assets and your hard-earned wealth and know that you are up against international thugs, criminals, thieves. That's what the IMF is. That's what the Federal Reserve is. That is what is happening to the people in Cyprus. Do not be on the receiving end of this. Please, do not tell anyone. Do not panic. There's time, but this is a warning that you should see. Deepen your preparation and keep it to yourself.